for all of us here, like our maturity model and the USWDS design principles are a relatively new concept. The design principles are newly USWDS principles. They are common. I think they are not surprising, and there are things that a lot of teams are already doing and doing well. But seeing them in the context of the design system and seeing them packaged sort of in the way we package them, this is new. And we all need to better our level of maturity using design principles. This is something that's a ongoing process, and this is something that is a sort of maturity doesn't really stop. We're all kind of learning about the design principles right now. We're all beginning to assess where we might fall in a maturity level in implementing them, and we're all looking to see how we might do this better. In general, we're trying to take a look at like how well these are integrated into our skills and our skill sets on our team, into our process, and into our product in general. So looking at the maturity model, we've seen these three circles before. We can think of the stages of maturity in the maturity model as kinds of questions. At the most granular code level, it's like the question is what? Like, what are we building? What is the code that's there? What color is it? What's the type size? Like, what is the functionality? And the guidance level helps to say, like, how are we building it? We're building it so that we're building it in a specific way so that it is more usable, so that it meets sort of expectations. But I think the important thing that we want to introduce here and add to everything is the largest like principle layer, and that principles layer begins to ask, like, why are we building this thing at all? Like, why are we doing what we're doing? What's important to us? And what can help us make good decisions for a team? Asking the right why questions. And the design principles are designed to help teams ask why questions around their product. And that's why they're the foundational outside first layer of design system maturity, is beginning to understand what the principles are, what they imply, and the sort of questions you ask in service of them, the actions you need to take in service of them, the skills that you need to develop in service of them. They frame the kind of why questions that a team answers, and they help a team understand if the answer they've built is a good one. And, you know, a sort of pithy way of thinking about it is, you know, if we don't start with why, then we won't know what's what. Like, we can't start at the code level. We have to start at the principles layer and think about what we're doing at that broad level. Otherwise, we're just gonna work willy-nilly, and we'll backfill reasoning on after it, and eventually everyone will be sad. So a way to think about your to assess a level of maturity with the design system is just to think about the decisions that your team makes. You know, how does this decision address the principles? How does this decision address starting with user needs? How does it earn trust? How does this decision address embracing accessibility, promoting continuity, listening? How does this decision address integrating user experience guidance? How does this decision address using the code and the design language of the design system? And this is something you can ask, you know, not only of an individual decision, but these are the kinds of questions that teams need to be asking themselves about the team itself. Like, how does our team address these kinds of ideas? How does our team address earning trust? And also, how does our process address earning trust? What are we able to do as individuals? What are we building into the way that we work? And then what is the outcome? Then how does our product address, starting with user needs? How does our product address promoting continuity? How does our product address using the design system, design language?